Welcome back to Watchback Studios. Hope your Sunday's going well. Another little episode here of Dial In with CQ and Jay. I'm CQ, the watch guy.
And I'm Jay. I love watches.
Before we start today's show, first there's two things we have to get to. First of all, we have to do a big congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for winning the game, the big game, and the Birds flew it all the way home. And
even Batman's wearing Eagles.
Even Batman.
It's real
a guy from Gotham City has Eagles pride right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's electrifying. So we definitely want to say big congrats to Philadelphia Eagles for bringing the chip back home. On a little bit more serious note, we're looking for Zach Rigo, guys.
Are you serious? We're still...
Yeah, we haven't found him. We haven't found him. So we're looking for a good friend, a regular co-host here, Zachary Rego. He last time there was good contact from him. It was right before Foles made that catch.
Yeah.
There was a brief sighting we heard yesterday during the parade.
There's a picture, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna try to put it up there, but please, Zach, if you're out there and you're seeing this episode somewhere,
please,
we love you, we miss you, we just want to get you back home safe, Zach. It's okay. Zach is born and raised in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, so the electricity's in him a lot, so I just hope, we can get him back soon.
I'm pretty sure he's safe. Everything went well yesterday, and, the people of Philadelphia will take care of their own. So I'm not too worried about him. I just wish he would, reach out to us.
Just say hi, Zach, if you see Zach, just feel free, hashtag where is Zach Rigo, hashtag where is Regonomics, and hopefully through those hashtags, you guys will be able to help us, find our friend, get him back on the show. All right, now that the serious stuff is over, I'll be upfront. This is going to be a little bit more of a different episode. It's been a crazy week here with the championship win and the parade and everything, and had a lot of clients going crazy. I've never had so many clients crying on the phone. I had my guys from Philadelphia crying of happiness. I had my New England guy crying from sadness.
Yeah.
What can we do? We still got to sell watches and buy watches at the end of the day. So it's been a little bit crazy. So we're going to do a little bit of a shorter show for you. We're kind of filming at a different time than usual, and we're trying to figure out what kind of show can we do really fast for you guys. And we just had a thought, what if the championship guys came in here, a few of them came in, and we had to sell them watches. What could we pick, and what would we try to sell them? So we picked a few really cool watches that we'd sell to some guys, and we're gonna go from there. Before that, let me do my wrist shot because I'm always the guy without a watch. So here's my shot. Today I'm wearing Rolex Milgauss White Dial Clear Crystal. I chose this watch two very reasons. There's a lot of electricity going on in the city from this win, and I wanted something that can keep me on time and brave all the magnetic fields, and that's what we love the Milgauss for. And also, I'll be back and forth all over in meetings today, and there's nothing more casual and wearable than a Rolex Milgauss. Even that white dial without the crystal, I love it.
Super classy.
Classy piece.
Very nice.
All right, and Jay, you want to start it off?
So, we figured we'd take a look at the pre-owned wall and see what watches would best fit the Eagles players and, of course, their head coach. And so I figured we'd start with the leader himself, and that's Doug Peterson.
Oh, Dougie Pete.
And the reason, well, let's start with the watch that I picked for him. Now, some of you guys might think that I'm a little biased, but I picked the Breguet Type 21.
This is Scotch.
I'm just saying.
This is Scotch.
I'm just saying. So the Breguet Type 21 is perfect for Doug Peterson because I feel like it's a classy piece. It's been around since the 1950s, 58 or so, I believe. And it's come back with even more style and more flair. Doug Peterson used to be the backup quarterback coach. The backup quarterback for the Eagles a good couple years ago. And now he came back to the Philadelphia Eagles, and he made waves, and he won a championship. And that's how I feel about these Type 21s, man, because Breguet has such a great heritage. They've been around doing great things for such a long period of time. And now I feel like they're coming back even stronger with these Type 21s. But I could be a little bit biased. I'm just being honest. Just you know how I feel.
You're a Breguet fanboy.
Yeah.
Just confess it up. But I think that's a really good choice for Doug Peterson. Breguet is one of those brands. A lot of people forget the heritage because it gets lost in groups and all these big things. But Breguet himself, the man, has left so many things that deter beyond different type of escapements that really are the backbone of the industry today. And you could say Doug Peterson is definitely the backbone of the Eagles, and it all comes down to that one little scene. You can Google it on the tube of when Nick Foles runs over to Peterson and says, should we go for it in 4-1? Can we do it? And you have to watch that clip because Doug Peterson looks like deep into his soul, it seems, and he's like, you know what? Why not? And that's what Breguet is. It's always going to be there for you. It's always a great brand. Whether you go into a Type 21 or one of the traditional pieces, it's always a brand that the quality's there. Some people might, gloss over it, but the quality will always be there, and the heritage is there for sure. That's a great choice.
And another thing about that piece as well, it's a very unconventional chronograph. And I feel like Doug Peterson is an unconventional coach.
That's true.
And that's why he won the Super Bowl, because he made plays or made calls that some coaches would have been conservative, and he had the guts to take a shot at it. So that's why we chose the Breguet Type 21 for him.
That was a good choice.
So I think CQ picked out a watch for another special person.
So another person, that I thought would be a good matchup for a watch would be this Panerai PAM 399 and Alshon Jeffries. So the Panerai PAM 399 is a 1940s radio mirror case. So it has that radio mirror kind of look to it, but it's a little bit thicker, different crown guard, a crown I should say, no crown guard. So it's a real good mix between Luminor and radio mirror, really a throwback to traditional Panerai pieces of that day. Now, I choose to connect this with Alshon Jeffrey because this is a Panerai where if somebody doesn't know what they're looking for, they'll go right past it and maybe try to trade to someone. But this is a piece where if it landed in my collection, I for sure would love it. First of all, limited to only 100 pieces. There's a Minerva movement in there. Minerva, if you guys don't know, is one of those classical founding manufacturers right now owned by Mount Blanc, do some really good things for them. And just like Alshon Jeffries, is something where when you wear it, when it's out there on the field, it's going to show up for you. It's going to give you everything you want. Real classy piece. You're not going to see a lot of people out there with that piece on the wrist. Only 100, and I think 50 of those are sold in a set with the 398, which is the gold version of basically the same watch. Very, very hard to find, but a true special talent in Jeffries and a special talent in this watch. So he made some clutch catches for us in the game, and I definitely think the 399 is a clutch watch that if you were traded it, you would be a very, very happy camper, and you'd almost say you got over on somebody on that one. I think the Bears might be regretting that choice.
It's a hidden gem, not everybody can appreciate what Panerai does and what they bring to the table, and I think that's why it definitely fits Alshon because he played really great for the Bears, but he really showed his true colors when he came into the big green. In my opinion, of course.
Fly birds fly. All right, what do you have next up on the table?
So the next thing we wanted to talk about, a lot of people don't get or give love to the offensive line. And I think one of the big factors of this win was the offensive line. And one of the people we thought of was Lane Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
And now Lane Johnson, you could see that when he came back, because he was away for a little bit, and when he came back into that offense, he pretty much just inspired the team, and you could see the numbers climb and soar in rushing and passing. And so we picked a Bentley BO6. This is a very nice piece. I actually spoke to Everton Renee. He's one of our intake specialists.
Hardcore Eagles
at the Watch Box. Huge Eagles fan, and he told me that Lane Johnson would definitely be in a Breitling, a man's watch, and the Bentley, the BO6 movement, in-house movement, a beautiful piece, on a nice leather strap. It's a chronograph that's a step above the rest, and that's the thing about Lane Johnson. He is just on the game, on the money every time, pushing. Always and forever, and that's why I think Bentley BO6, Lane Johnson, I think this should be your watch.
Yeah, I think this is a great choice. Like you said, it's a little bit different chronograph, 30 seconds chronograph. So just like Lane Johnson, a little bit of a step ahead of the rest of the game. I love Breitling for Bentley. Limited production series, all of them. And, this particular one, I think this is about a 44mm case.
Yeah.
I love it. It does everything you want. It looks really beautiful on this this brown kind of Bentley strap with the double stitching. This is one of the only straps Breitling does like that, by the way. A lot of guys like to take this strap and put in other watches. But definitely a Lane Johnson-alike piece because it's always there for you. Hard, man, hard there.
You can rely on him.
Yeah. So now, this is the piece I'm going to take the most flack for. But, just bear with me, guys. Let me explain this one.
It's super dope, though.
It is an awesome piece. So let's first start off with the watch. This watch is a Hublot Big Bang King Power. I believe it's a Unico the soccer timer or football timer. This one was done for FIFA World Cup Brazil in 2014. The watch, the person I pair this with would be Fletcher Cox. Now, I know you're like, oh wait, this is a soccer watch, why?
Explain.
I'm gonna explain this. Now, there's two things. There's one main thing actually that this watch, the game of soccer, Fletcher Cox and this watch have in common. Once it started, it's not stopping. You know, once you start the counter on this piece, that retrograde hand is gonna go, it's gonna snap back, and it's gonna keep on going. Fletcher Cox, once he's on the field, I don't know if he sees a difference in quarters because he's always going. So just like the game of soccer and just like this watch, it's gonna keep going even over time and just keep giving you what you need out there in the field. Ceramic case, forged carbon or carbon fiber bezel on top of it. Really unique piece, and this is one of those Hublots that when it came out, it really kind of set a little bit of waves and showed that Hublot isn't afraid to put some bang on their buck when putting in different complications out there. And you see now they just came out with the golf watch very recently, which looks amazing and does really cool things there. So this is one of their first entries into like a complication fitted just for sports, and it's just really unique, just like Fletcher Cox. Something that you might not have thought you'd love, but when you put it on the wrist, it really looks well. It does amazing with the time right there, the 6 o'clock, and just those retrogrades. So maybe not, you might try to use it for football, but I'm a big fan of the piece, and I definitely think it represents everything Fletcher Cox is out there in the field, something that doesn't stop and just keeps on going.
And it's just another great example of how Hublot knows how to incorporate, partnerships and art into their pieces, and they're really good at, drawing people from one area and bringing them to the next, especially into luxury watches. And this piece is just gorgeous. All the colors and all the art that went into it, along with the thought and the process of, making a watch that syncs up with soccer time. So, I think that's an amazing piece, and I agree. It definitely does fit Fletcher Cox's style of play, for sure. No questions asked. And so next, we were thinking about, the person on the team of the Eagles who was the most reliable. Like when you needed somebody, when you needed a point scored or your first down, like who did you go to? And another, I went to Everton Renee again, and he just told me Zach Ertz.
Oh man,
Zach Ertz was Mr. All Reliable. Whenever they needed that first down, whenever they needed to move the chains, they went to Zach Ertz. And so I thought, out of all the watches that we could pick and we could speak about, what watch is the most reliable? What's the watch that's most well known and you'd feel comfortable? And call me a fanboy as well again, but I went with the Rolex Submariner. All right, and now the reason I chose this watch is because it just shows that like a watch that has so much success being a tool watch now is a luxury timepiece, and it reminds me of Zach Ertz because he stood the test of time. Being that, just a regular pass catcher, he grew into this tight end that is out there making things happen. Personally, I had him on my fantasy team, and I couldn't have been happier. He was always getting points.
From me, man. I usually have somebody.
He's always out there getting the yards that you need. He's out there scoring touchdowns, and he's pretty much a safety blanket for either Carson Wentz or Nick Foles. And that's why I felt like this Rolex Submariner, whenever you're out there, if you were to dive, this is one of the backups. I heard Mike Michael kind of speak about how divers' watches are the backups backup, And that's what the Submariner reminds me of. It's just like, hey, listen, after I look through my option A and option B and option C, what do I go to? You go to the Rolex Submariner because you know for a fact that this watch is going to be good every time.
You're absolutely right. And the Rolex Submariner is one of those watches where a lot of people like to talk smack about Rolex, because they make a lot. There's no way to cut that corner. But there's a reason why the Rolex Submariner, from beginning to the end, is one of the best-selling, steel sports watches out there. It's because it is Mr. Reliable. This one's the older one, 6610, older version, older bezel, still a classy watch. I would still wear this every day. Then you bump up into the ceramic Submariner. What more can you want? If you had to have one watch where, you don't know what you're gonna do. If you had that one watch for 2 years and then they said we don't know what's gonna happen, you want to take a sub because no matter what situation, if you got to be dressy, you can be dressy. If you got to be sporty, you can play football in that watch. You can do anything you want in that watch, and that's why the Rolex Submariner remains one of the best-selling watches. And it's a piece that personally, when we get it in our stores, pre-owned or brand new, it immediately goes. There's no time I can ever promise somebody, hey, I'm gonna get you a Submariner. It really doesn't exist. It
you'd be surprised how many people call and just say, hey, can you put me on the list? And it's just like, dude, to be honest with you, this watch is so hot. I can't I wouldn't even want to lie to you right now.
Yeah, no, it's really not fair to put guys on list for these or the Hulks and things like that, because you know you're gonna be waiting for how long? You know, you can get a call from me in 3-4 years or something like that, and then it becomes weird. But I think that was a really great summation of what Zach Ertz is, Mr. Reliable, always there for you when you need him, and just shows up, man, shows up strong and always there. And I think together all these watches do explain a little bit of the story of the Eagles this season, and definitely their win. Thank you guys for tuning in for this little kind of quick show we did here. I know it's a little bit more sports inspired, so I look forward to seeing you guys in the comments, knocking us for that. But again, comment, subscribe, negative or positive, we love them both. Tell us what you want to see. Make sure you give us an email, cq@thewatchbox.com.
And I'm Jonathan V. That's JONATHAN V at thewatchbox.com. Please subscribe to the channel. You know, take a look at all the different shows that we got going. We have something for everybody. Shout out to the Eagles once again for bringing the chip to Philadelphia. You know, shout out to the production team here. They always take care of us.
Always, you know, survivors, true survivors. You know, they survive. You know, where Rigo, maybe didn't. But they're here with us.
Find Rigo. Seriously, like that's
hashtag Where is Rigo? Hashtag Where is Regonomics? We need you to push that on all our social media platforms. Let's get Zach back home. But make sure you tune in next week. We have a really special show planned. One of the top traders on the floor.
Oh man,
it's gonna be, I don't even want to say who it is, but
it's gonna be a surprise.
It's going to be a really good show, and definitely be a nice longer show like how our shows usually are. And definitely we get a little bit more deeper. I'll give you a little hint with independent brands next show, but don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody.
It's definitely going to be a fun show. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy your Sunday.
Hey, buy what you love.
Buy what you love, always.